Hey everyone, this is Jace bringing you another Ever Crisis video. Today I'm going to be going through a live playthrough of Sector 5, very hard. Maybe this is a guide, I don't know, but let's go ahead and go through the simple enemies. This one's actually the final boss, the Behemoth Pawn. I forgot where this one was from. He's actually from, if I'm not mistaken, from the most recent First Soldier chapter. You fight him alone as Sephiroth, and Sephiroth is immortal, and anyway, these are the enemy's stats. Everything in here is weak to fire, so just bring fire and circle sigil and you're most likely good to go. Next up we have the 3 soldiers, so bring Azuna for fog, or don't. If you want to bring a full physical team, then you won't really have to worry about it unless you absolutely need your healer to be able to heal all the time. You might not need to. I don't need to, even though I'm bringing a weakened team. Assault Scorpion, make sure you bring magic attack down and healing Azuna for poison, unless you can kill this thing before either of those things matter. I'm going to be bringing both just to be safe. GallyB Acana, I would recommend bringing magic attack down to defend against the big hit that comes after the big physical hit if you aren't able to kill him in time. Not a bad idea to bring physical defense up. I'm going to be trying to get around that with my team, so we'll see if I can pull that off. And last but not least, we have the Blue Dragon. Weak to fire, just like everything else. These little things on the side are weak to fire and wind. They inflict magic defense down, so I really recommend just killing them as quickly as possible. Another note is that physical attacks are effective against them. Actually, are physical attacks effective against other side enemies? Let me just check. Multi-target attacks, yeah, whatever. Either are okay with that. Okay, so just physical attacks are effective against these Vaster enemies that come along with the Blue Dragon. But other than that, you can bring magic or physical damage. However, I recommend that you bring physical damage if you have it, because physical damage is boosted by 15%. And then of course everything's weak to fire, you should be bringing fire anyway, but fire potency is increased by 15%. Right, so this is the team that I'm going to be bringing. It looks pretty powerful. I've done a few things to try and weaken them a bit, and I'm also using a team that I don't typically run with in my videos. So Glenn, you probably haven't seen Glenn in my videos in a very long time. Lucia's here, and then Red 13, he's a very good boy, so he's going to be joining us here. Let's get into the actual overview for them. The way that I've weakened them, and I'm going to jump into this before I go through each character, is that each of them is only allowed one sep weapon. So they're still pretty strong sub-weapons, but only one is allowed, just to make things a little bit more challenging, and so we can see a little bit more of the dungeon. That being said, this is still a pretty strong team, just because I'm a day 1 player. So Glenn's bringing his Doom Dodger outfit, which is from the story. You get that for free. I have Crew Kicker at OB8, and then I have Piece of Cake at OB4. Bringing defense down for whichever type of magic that you're bringing is important for the final boss, so recommend thinking about that. Ifrit at level 5. These materia are mostly going to be stat sticks. I do have some pretty strong materia still, so even though I'm reducing the power of my team, there are going to be some ways in which they're just strong. Circle Sigil, of course, and then for my sub-weapon for Glenn, I have Matscaler Hornet at OB10 plus 2. Here are Glenn's R abilities if you want to see them. Then next up we have Lucia. She's bringing her Vivi's garb outfit. I have it, the skin changed to the free one that you get for her in the story. So that's why she appears this way. Mad Minute in the main hand for magic attack down. And then I didn't really know what else to put in her offhand, so I just happen to have V39 at OB8, so I'll be making use of this because there are a few AoE fights, but it's an AoE physical attack weapon. For her limit break, I'm going to be bringing Cheering Shots. This is her new one that buffs the entire party's magic attack and physical attack. Here are the materia that I'm bringing for her. Her main way of dealing damage is going to be this Fire Blow. And then I have this Circle Ruinra. It's a 5-star, but with some very sad stats, and the physical attack didn't get as high as I would have liked. And then her sub-weapon is just going to be Yuffie's Arctic Star for some buff debuff extension, which is good for her because she's bringing Cheering Shots and Mad Minute there. Here are Lucia's R abilities if you'd like to see them. And then last but not least, we have Red 13, who is a very good boy. Canyon Duds with the debuff mastery, 60% debuff extension. We have Platinum Collar at OB10. So when I originally tried out this team for this Crisis Dungeon, this was at OB9, so it'll be interesting to see how it goes with OB10. Spoiler alert, it's probably going to go better. We have Ivy Collar in his secondary slot to reduce fire resistance for the enemies. Sled Fang here for magic attack and physical attack down. Healing Azuna for poison, which is going to help against the Scorpion. We have Circle Ruin right here. And then this is just a stat stick for some extra HP for him, because he has less HP than the other two characters. And then his sub-weapon is going to be Mat Centipede, which I have at Overboost 8, which is frankly a very absurdly powerful healing weapon. And then here are his R abilities if you would like to see them. Alright, so that's the team we're going to be running. Let's get into the run. Alright, first I'm of course going to go down this ladder. There might be something over here the first time you run the Crisis Dungeon, so feel free to check that just to be safe. I'm not going to be fighting the GallyB Acana first, because he will... the fight will just take a really long time because we don't have any ATB built, and our attack gauge isn't maxed, so we're not going to be able to kill him before he uses his first attack, or his second one, and it just becomes a bad time. So I'm going to go down here and do this add encounter first. So something I learned when I was pushing for top 10 in the last dungeon ranking event, which feels like it was 10 years ago, is that your speed during these random encounters, or add-on encounters, whatever you want to call them, actually matters for your score. So it's still a good place to chill and heal if you need to, but you don't want to dilly-dally for too long, because it actually will reduce your score. There are a lot of scoring things related to Crisis Dungeons that aren't very transparent. So we're going to go around here, and we're going to fight this boss first, and that's the Scorpion. So the side adds are going to reduce the physical defense of two of your party members very quickly, so I'm actually going to focus them down and just do a preemptive healing or therapeutic touch here. Cleanse poison, so we're just going to go ahead and remove that. And side adds are handled. I'm going to use Lucia to reduce the boss's magic attack, and then other than that, we'll lower the boss's fire resistance, and Glenn's just going to keep smacking away. Glenn just got poisoned, we remove that with Red 13, that's handled. We can lower his fire resistance just a little bit more. He's continuing to buff his magic attack, which is what this boss does, so I'll use Lucia to lower that. And then all of our characters have Circle Sigil, so we're just going to handle the stream phase very easily. Probably didn't need to heal up, but it's just kind of a habit. Stream phases end and I want to heal my party. Not much else to this boss. We're going to be able to kill it before it uses its AoE laser. If you're having trouble killing it before then, just make sure you lower its magic attack. You can also bring magic defense up for your whole party if you have one of those AoE magic defense up weapons. But that's that. So let's see, 61,000 points, 1 minute and 4 second fight. I'm going to be making this as cozy of a run as possible, so I'm not trying to get an absurdly high score or anything. The point is just to get the S+. So in a lot of cases, I'm going to be taking the defensive options just to make my life a little bit easier. So I'll be taking the 50% defense up. I'm going to go over here. And the next boss is the dragon. So this boss is going to put fog on one of your party members, and then it's just going to target them, and it might not target the same party member, but it's going to target them and use a bunch of ice attacks. What I want to do is I want to kill these ads pretty quickly. I'm going to go ahead and use limit breaks here. I've been sitting on Lucia's limit break for like 10 years, so may as well just go ahead and use it. We can skip that. Alright, that handles the ads. So now we can just focus on the boss. Red 13 can lower fire resistance. Oh, I can absolutely kill this before this street pace even matters. He'll target somebody and continuously hit them with this blue dragon breath. If you want to, you can switch to defensive stance every time that comes out, if you're struggling to get through the fight. But otherwise, just break the sigils, keep the person who's being targeted alive. You'll be able to tell who's being targeted because they'll have a little orange square above their portrait. 20-second fight, so that was very, very quick, especially with the Hellfire summon. So that's handled. And as I mentioned before, for the trance ability, I'm going to be focusing more on my defensive options. I'm actually going to take a gamble. I think we can kill the GallyB Acana before its lightning attack that stuns us even goes off. So I'm not going to sacrifice healing potency, I'm just going to take the fire potency. But the GallyB Acana's attack after its initial rush is an AoE lightning magic attack. So that's what that lightning resist trance ability was for. I'm going to grab this chest here. Which fight is this? I think it's the soldiers. Don't go in, don't go in. Okay. Alright, it's the soldiers. I'm going to do that one last. And you will see why, given the defensive strategy that I'm taking here. So we're just going to head on over all the way back around to get to the GallyB fight. And actually, before we go in, just to be extra safe, we're going to use some items. Because what I would have liked to do, I wasn't thinking, I would have liked to save my limit breaks for when the boss is just about to do his big attack. I'll show you once we get into the actual fight. Big scary boss. Go to the defensive stance pretty much as soon as the fight starts because he's going to start off with a charge. Can I get this in time? I can't. Okay. What I want to do is interrupt that with a limit break and make him keep recasting it over and over. So this is an AoE magic attack, so we're going to want to reduce the boss's magic attack with Lucia's barrage ability. 3 tiers down, and they'll switch to defensive stance. He lowers your physical defense, but this next attack is magic. But he's going to go into a stream phase after this. Ow, that actually really hurt. I'm going to switch back to attack, and then go back into defensive stance so we don't lose gauge. We'll start up some healing with Red 13. And then we're actually going to respect this stream phase. We can interrupt Bolt Stomp a few times, though, using limit breaks. So this is what I would have liked to do at the beginning of his cast of Electrocute, but I didn't have limit breaks ready because I used them against the dragon. Oh, I was too late for that one. You can just continue interrupting him. Now, these Bolt Stomps are physical. So this physical defense down that he's applied to your party is actually going to be increasing the amount of damage you take. He's also taking reduced physical and magic damage at the moment. So you can still do damage to him if you want. I'm not sure how much it's going to deal. He's going to boost his magic attack during the stream phase, so you want to be careful of that. I think I'm actually going to take the opportunity to heal. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm just going to swap to defensive stance for the next Bolt Sweep. And then for his next attack, I'll cancel with a limit break. Alright. In fact, let's go ahead and lower his fire resistance here. I'm going to go ahead and save limit breaks for the next boss, because we're going to be able to kill him just fine. I think. Alright, cool. He's dead. So that lasted a lot longer than I would have liked, but that is how you can deal with that boss. I probably should have taken the lightning resist up and the stun resistance, since I wasn't able to kill it in time. And yeah, we definitely got a lower score than I would have liked. 49,000 points in a minute, over a minute and a half. It is what it is. It do be like that sometimes. Alright, for our trance ability, we are going to take the Okay, now I think we actually can kill the soldiers before they do anything because we have all of our limit breaks ready. This ice resistance is for the AoE Blizzaga / single target Blizzara that the soldiers will use. But I think we're going to blow them up. I'm willing to take this risk. I'm going to take the physical attack. Now, if it's the first time you're doing this Crisis Dungeon, go up here. Go up this ladder. There's an item there. I've already done this dungeon, so I'm just going to skip that. I'm going to go down here. They give you plenty of items in this Crisis Dungeon, and really the score isn't all that tight at all, so it's okay to use items to make your life a little bit easier. So I'm actually going to do a Power Jelly for Glenn and Lucia, and a Fire Cocktail for Glenn and Lucia. And we're going to run in. And we're not going to waste time. We're just going to go ahead and use all 3 limit breaks. Red 13's such a good boy. And we can skip that. Deleted. Yeah, okay. I'm glad I didn't take that ice resistance ability. 61,000 points, which is good. We do second fight. Nice to make up a little bit of score after the GallyB Acana fiasco. Not a fiasco. 50,000 points per boss I think is still enough to get the S+, but still a little bit lower than I would have liked. I can't remember what kind of damage the Behemoth deals. I'm definitely not doing this. I don't know if I need to do this. Let's just take the defense. If we don't take as much damage, we don't need to heal as much. And same deal, I'm going to go ahead and buff Lucia and Glenn's physical attack and their fire potency. The first time I cleared this, I brought a magic team because my fire magic damage is better than my physical fire damage. But, oh yeah, we're just going to preemptively start healing. This G Assassins really lower your physical defense. So I don't know how much damage they're going to deal during this, but we'll heal it all up. Let's kill this one. No, let's save Glenn's ATB there. But anyway, what I was saying is that this Crisis Dungeon only gives you power jellies, it doesn't give you magic jellies. So there are a lot of small ways in which this the developers are encouraging you to bring physical fire damage here instead of magic fire damage. I've already applied the power jellies and the fire cocktail, so I'm just going to go ahead and run in, and we'll fight this Behemoth pawn. So this is the reason I brought physical defense down on Glenn. So he's going to raise his fire defense, magic defense, and physical defense. We can lower fire resistance with Red 13. We'll use Glenn's dual slash here to lower physical defense. You don't necessarily have to have weapons to lower these types of defense because the fire breaches are in the game. You should have a fire breach from the most recent... I'll just do this. From the most recent... Actually, hard Crisis Dungeon Sector 5 should have given you a fire breach recipe. So make one of those if you don't have one. You should have a regular breach recipe as well at this point. So if you don't have a weapon that reduces physical defense or magic defense, you should have access to both types of breach for physical and magic defense. Just make use of those. Swap to defensive stance for triple strike slam. That's the physical defense putting in work for us, the transability that we took a little while ago. I'm not going to bother lowering his physical defense again. Actually, you know what, why not? Let's just do one. We have all 3 limit breaks ready, so I'm just gonna use all of them. I should have used cheering shots first, but, you know, whatever. It would have added, like, what? 800 damage to that? Something like that? It's not a huge deal. I don't know what happens if I don't respect this stream phase. I don't actually think we're going to break this in time. Are we? Let's see. This is going to be close. I'm actually very nervous now. We're fine. It was fine the whole time. We'll use our limit breaks, why not? Alright, can Glenn finish it off? Oh, Lucia stole the kill. That's fine. Alright, and that is the end of the Crisis Dungeon. So we can skip ahead. 55,000 points is still not bad at all. A minute and 48 seconds for the last boss. That's just fine. All right, well, there you have it. Let's see what score we got. Yeah, way more than what we need for the S+, even with a suboptimal run with a reduced power team. There you go. So, you've seen the entire Crisis Dungeon. Hopefully this video is helpful for you. If you enjoyed the video, feel free to like and follow for more, and I will catch you next time. Take care.